So it's time for another Gardening Week video, and it's been a lovely week actually, despite lots of rain, quite a lot of wind, and quite a few frosty nights. We've had quite a lot of sunshine, and as long as you can sort of dodge the showers, and this is obviously the advantage of being retired, yeah, I've got quite a lot done. And in particular, I managed to get quite a lot of seeds sown. And this is kind of almost one of the most important months for me from the perspective of seed sowing, because I'm sowing a lot of the crops that I'll end up eating all the way through summer, and then a lot of the winter crops as well, particularly the colettes and the Brussels. And now I know some people sow Brussels later than me. I know some people sow them earlier than me, but I always like mid-March. I find that you just get much bigger plants, and as a result of bigger plants, obviously you get more stem. When you get more stem, you get more Brussels, and the same is true of colettes. So yeah, mid-March is kind of perfect for me. But I've also got a lot of planting done, and yeah, that's it's a real milestone for me really, because I've pretty much finished all the planting now for March. And I've just got a few little beds just coming free this weekend in the polytunnel to plant, but other than that, I'm all planted. And of course, you know, I never finished planting because beds are always coming free, but I don't think I've got any beds coming free now until April. So I'm going to be able to relax a little bit and hopefully just get some good weather and get out and about. So yeah, I'll put up the side, as you've probably already seen, everything that I've sown and everything that I've planted this week. And mainly lettuces and Asian greens, but I've also put in some early red baron onions. And I'm taking a little bit of a risk with those because I don't normally put my onions out until a little bit later. But I've got a spare tray of onions that I sowed. And they were the germination test, and they all germinated, so I thought, well, let's just pop those in, we'll see how they do. And the issue here, or not the issue really, but the reason that I put them in right now is because I interplanted them into one of my lettuce beds, and my theory is that the lettuces will be harvested by the middle of May. That's when red barons start to bulb, and you really don't want any competition for plants, for onions, once they're starting to bulb. So I'm hoping that they'll have a kind of competition-free space once the lettuces are out. So that will be interesting to see. And I've tried the same trick with some tough ball onions that I sowed back in December, and they start to bulb the middle of April. So they're in a bed where hopefully everything will be harvested by the middle of April. And so again, they will be competition free from the time that they start to bulb. I'm not quite sure how well the tough ball will do, because they're quite small still, and obviously they need to have grown to be quite substantial plants before the middle of April by bulbing time. So I have put them under a low tunnel just to kind of accelerate their growth a little bit. So that, I think, is pretty much it for my gardening week, apart from the fact that I've expanded my database now to include data on competition. So when you do a lot of high intensity gardening, which means a lot of interplanting and relay planting and all of that sort of thing, you do have to kind of be conscious of when seedlings are most sensitive to competition. So I'll put a link to my data on that in the description below, and this is kind of part of a big body of work that I'm currently doing, looking at interplanting, relay planting, progressive harvesting, and all of these sorts of intensive gardening techniques, and getting all that data into the database, and also the sort of text and videos into the book. So that's going to be a project that's going to take me quite a few months. Maybe it'll take me the whole of the year, because it's quite a complicated topic, and I do dislike a lot of the current books that I've read on this topic, because they don't really have the tried and tested planting plans that make this work. They do kind of have some, like, this plant goes well with this plant sort of data, but that really isn't, I don't find, very useful without a proper planting plan that says, you know, you put this in at this time of year and then this in at this time of year and then this will come out at that time of year, and you know, and all of that. So that's what I'm trying to achieve. Anyway, let's have a look at the harvest. So here we are with this week's harvest. We're just starting to see a few changes, noticeable probably only to me. We've still got squash, of course, carrots. I'm so pleased with these carrots. These are Eskimo. They've done so well this year. You know, the quality of them is still absolutely top notch, straight out of the ground. The odd slug hole and bits and pieces, like, you know, there's one there I think with a little bit of a hole in it, but you know, pretty much great condition. Parsley from the polytunnel. These are the last of the Estima baking potatoes. We had 2 tubs of those. I harvested them yesterday along with a few other bits and pieces, and we've used half a tub already, or a whole tub already. I'm going to do more Estima next year actually, because they've kept really well. I mean, there's a slight discoloration on the skin, but you know, pretty much okay, and just starting obviously to sprout now, straight out of the tubs. Onions from the store, shallots from the store, beetroot from the store, garlic from the store, and then we've got leeks from the ground, and as you know, we like these baby leeks. We've still got, I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks worth of leeks left. We've got 2 weeks worth of parsnips left, and I've started just harvesting a few of these spring cabbage leaves because their cabbages are going to seed, and their seed heads, because the seed heads are lovely. Carvelo Nero and curly kales. Really starting to get some gorgeous purple sprouting broccoli now, and very pleased with that. We harvested another one of these midweek as well, so we've had 3 of those. And colettes and Brussels still keep hanging on. Hardly any Brussels left now. I think just 1 week's harvest of Brussels left, and maybe 2 weeks of colettes if we really push it. Spinach, of course, loads of spinach. It's always tricky with spinach, I find. Like, you know, if you harvest too much of it, you don't have enough, and then, you know, if you leave it in the beds and don't replant, then you end up with a glut. But we're about at the point where we'll probably find happy homes for all of that spinach, and you know, a decent amount of tatsoi. So we kind of finished the overwintered Asian greens last week, and then this is the new season Asian greens just kicking in. So again, quite a nice time in there. And then all of these are salads, so there's a full second layer of those, and then these are the salad ingredients. And I wanted to show you this. So this is the Claytonia from the garden. This has had 2 picks. Looks quite nice superficially. This is the Claytonia from the polytunnel, and that's had 4 picks. That's the difference that a little bit of colour makes, and it's in no way kind of the optimum position in the polytunnel either. It's underneath a trestle table, it's in the shadiest spot, but it's still done really well. And you know, the stems are super crunchy and lovely, and yeah, really nice. I mean, look at the difference in the size of these stems. And we've got salad onions, slightly lower on salad onions this year. I tried to manage things a little bit better. We had a bit of a glut last year. And now we've got the lamb's lettuce, and I think we'll have that for quite a few more weeks, because I did a late sowing of that, which is coming on nicely underneath a little bit of fleece. So Claytonia, I think I'm only going to have maybe 2 picks of that before we're finished, but then we'll have loads and loads of lettuce. We've got quite a lot of lettuce now. I'll show you underneath these containers. Did have 1 more pick of salad rocket. I wasn't sure whether I'd get it cleared and replanted this week, but I didn't. So yeah, that's a little bit of a bonus. And these are the salad mixes, and already in these mixes I think we've got 6 different ingredients, 6 different varieties, and and quite a few different types, I think 4 different types of things, but I'm going to add these, so that would make 6 different varieties, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 different ingredients, homegrown, and then I'm going to add grapes and tomatoes, so that will make 12, and next week we should have radishes, so that will make 13. So that's a nice salad, 13 different ingredients. So there we go, everything made up apart from the tomatoes, which I forgot to buy, and that was the finished table. So I do like to fill the table, and last year we grew slightly too much. We were trying to get more varieties this year, but less volume, and so our target is this table, and I think I picked 32 varieties this week, so that's pretty good. So hope you like this quick video. My name is Steve, this is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.